And once upon a time, we danced to Flo Rida and T-Pain. Low. It's a minute past 10 p.m. We're your cool station. We're 96.9. We're Cool FM. How are you doing? If you're driving, please drive carefully. Welcome to the show. My name is Joyce and the Night Cafe, of course. Get ready, of course. I didn't mention that earlier on. Confessions Thursday. When you call in, you remain anonymous. You do not say your name. You just say hi and hello, and then you can begin your story. You can talk about anything and everything. Lessons, regrets, experiences, sadness, grief, regrets, whatever it is you have ongoing with you. The end goal is that you have a shoulder to cry on, like shoulders to cry on, really. And some people might love to call in and hopefully say something nice and polite. Okay. First things first, my experience with a Nigerian police officer today. So I'm somewhere and I park my car along the road. I get out, go in. I come out, my tires are deflated. And I'm wondering, okay, this is quite unfair. But then again, some guy goes to call the guys who pump the tire, the vulcanizers, and the guy said to me, you have to speak to the police officers. They're probably the one who did this. So I approached the police officers. First I met a woman who said, oh, it's my colleague. And then I wait for her colleague to show up. And then this cute police officer comes across. And I say, oh, good afternoon to you. And I say, excuse me, you deflated my tires. And he said, yes, that I was guilty of obstruction. And so I smile. I'm like, okay, well, that wasn't the intent, but then again, okay, so here we are. And then he says, oh, I'm about to get your car towed. And I'm like, why would you tow my car? And he's like, well, that's what happens at this point. We'll take you to the station, blah, blah, blah. And then I laugh. And then another police officer comes on. She joins the conversation. And then everybody's talking. And then all of a sudden, the police officer says, okay, could you please give her. Apparently, they had removed the pins, when you pump your tires, those pins that impede the air from going out, yeah, so they had taken it out. I actually just felt stripped, really. So they took away some things from my car, and so the female police officer handed them over to me at the instruction of the male officer, and then I started to laugh. For me, I was laughing because I felt like I had been stripped some way. It was just kind of weird for me. Like they had taken something from me and they were handing it over to me, the things they had taken behind my back, just because, of course, according to them, I was obstructing traffic. And then they say, now you can go get the vulcanizers. And then I go call the vulcanizer. They come and they start pumping the... First of all, I was even told that they couldn't even come pump the car except I got permission from the police officers. So the female police officer comes to where I was standing, talking with the vulcanizers, and she says, oh, you can please go help her pump her tires. And then we all go there. And then we're pumping the tires. And then the male police officer comes to me, standing beside my vehicle, and says, oh, I'm putting you through a lot of stress and I'm really sorry. If I had known it was a person like you, I would not have deflated your tires. I'm really sorry I put you through this. And then I look at him and I smile, and then he says, I have to go back to the post. And then he leaves me, he goes back to the post. So there I was, waiting for my car to get done. Then it got done. I get in. So the female officer who came to meet me while I was at the vulcanizer's place, I walked past her and I just gave her what I wanted to give to her. And she smiled. And then I was driving off and I didn't see the male officer anymore. So I drive down on my way, headed out of that area. I see him warding traffic at the end of that turn, that strip. And then I honk to say, well, I wanted to just say hi, the usual, oh, well, here's this one for you, So he didn't see me, so I honked and I wove just so that he could see me. And then he gave me a sign to park. And so, I parked the car. And then he comes to me and then I stretch my hand And he says, do you mean you're going to give me money? And I said to him, oh, I'm sorry. I hope you don't feel insulted. And he says, oh, no, 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 but no, I'm not going to take money from you. And I say, why? He says, no, I'm not going to take money from you. Instead, I would rather have lunch with you. But otherwise, I would not take money from you. And I said, oh, okay, thank you. And then he waved me goodbye. And I looked back, I was like, is this Nigeria? Did this just happen? Earlier on, he had mentioned, oh, I would like to join you for lunch at the Eco Hotel. In my head, I'm thinking, what makes you feel like go to Eco Hotel to eat? He says, I've looked at you now. That's where you go to eat. And then he says, where do you eat? I'm like, I eat all this roadside food. He's like, really, I'd like to join you. And then I'm like, sure, we can go have something later. And so that was when I actually approached my car with the vulcanizers that pump in the tires. But for me, I think it was very moving to have him apologize. I'm not sure. If you have any police experiences, could you kindly call the show to share? I'm not sure that I expected that in the most remote form. When he said, oh, I'm sorry I'm putting you through all of this, I shouldn't have. And I think for the life of me, I couldn't quite figure out his disposition. Like, I think I couldn't quite figure it out. And I think that would probably be because there is, quote unquote, the general expectation from the police officers. Even when they are nice, they're a certain way. But these guys, he looked very educated, measured. He was composed. He was collected. And I hate to say, well, what are you doing in a uniform? Because I honestly feel like the uniform should have as much regard and respect as the country should. It's just, it was quite a moment for me. And I honestly wish I could actually just take him out for lunch. But then again, I do not want to pass the wrong message, you know. But I would really have loved to say, you know what, hey, I'm going out with my friends on this day. If you're off, could you just come in jeans and tees? Let's just buy you lunch. Like, I would really love to do that. It was so moving, and I'm thinking, there might just be some police officers who are really, really that good. Just kind-hearted, polite, who do their job. But then again, I wonder, maybe it's just the way the society is, the way the toll the country is taking on the psyche of people. That's literally making people mad by translation. It's making people mad in their behavioral patterns. Otherwise, I think I had a very good experience today with a Nigerian police officer. And that, for me, is something worth sharing. And I thought, hey, when you go out there tomorrow and you have any encounter, or have an encounter with any officer of the law, could you be nice? Could you be polite? Could you smile? Could you say hi? I mean, treat them the same way you want them to treat you. Chances are, 9 out of 10, you might just get about the best experience yet. Even if you're probably going to pat with something, I think for me it's the respect that's exchanged in conversation. It's against the bullying, the shouting, the degradation, the threats, all of that, which usually happens. But maybe if we were just a little bit more patient and polite, we could get a lot more out of them. Really. Just really. And he didn't even know who I was. Like, he didn't even have any clue whether I was popular or not, whether I was on radio or not. He just treated me as another human being. And that deserves a bottle of wine. Like, really, that. So that was my police experience today. Besides the fact that I was actually under the sun, just trying to figure out the whole pump your tire thing. Yeah, that. Besides that, it was a good day. Yeah? So remember to be polite, I know sometimes you're frustrated, whether it's a consequence of home, relationships at home, spouse, boss. I hope bosses could be a lot better, but whatever it is, just when you go out, in exchange for what you want, give what you hope to get. All right? Yeah. 11 minutes past 10. My name is Joyce. It's 96.9. It's Cool FM. Let's see. So I have the option of going to the telephone lines right about now, or going off on a music break. And I think one should be done first. A music break, and then we will come back to the real McCoy. Giving money to a wife. Should husbands give money to their wives? Well, first of all, that very action is called duty. It is your duty to give money to your wife. Your wife isn't duty free. It is a responsibility, one that you must carry out in utmost respect for her and regard for yourself. I don't see how you could be fronting for your wife. And worse, I don't understand how you maltreat her. But then again, these things happen. So all of this and much more we'll discuss when we return. It is your cool station. It's 96.9. It's Cool FM. My name is Joyce. Coldplay. A cold play. Viva la vida. The Night Cafe.